I've got exactly what Grant and Carson sent me. There's no plugins on it, as you can see. Just going to show you. Levels are pretty much zeroed out. There's a few pans going on. And there's a master I added. And that's it. This is a raw blank session. And let's just go through it. This is really a cool track. This is going to be a really awesome nail to mix because there's just so much to this track. I mean, first of all, you've got the drums of Matt Greiner, and he is one of the very, very best drummers in modern metal. If you're not familiar with him, you very much should be, because he is one of the greats of the 2000 teens, I guess. One of the very, very best drummers. Now, I had the opportunity to assist Jason Sukoff back in 2011 on their album Leveler, and I got to watch him record, and I can tell you, I have seen it firsthand. This guy is one of the best, and you will have the chance to work with some of the very, very best drum tracks you will ever possibly hope to work with. So here they are. Looks like we've got a kick mic, a kick trigger, snare top and bottom, rack toms, and one thing that is really cool about the session that Carson gave me is that for those of you who want to lay samples or use some cool gating tricks, MIDI has been laid already for this. For all the drums, it looks like. So we've got a snare MIDI here, toms, that's right, as well as trigger tracks. So you really have everything you need already given to you to do the best job possible. Then we've got the hat and the bell, crash left, splashes, crash right, overheads, rooms, and looks like an attic. I'm actually kind of curious. What is the attic? Well, we can guess what the attic is. Sounds like an attic. I bet that can be used for very, very cool effects. Before we go on, let me just point out that this song not only does have a ton of different elements, but lots of different tempos. So, song's just juicy. We've got a bass DI and a bass Sans amp. 2 tracks of rhythm guitars, and yes, there are DIs included, as you can see. Leads, and for the leads, we have the DIs included as well. There's DIs included for everything, so, you know, you can either work with the tones that Carson and the band got, or you can make your own. It's up to you. I think that the tones that they got on this are pretty phenomenal, which I'm going to show you in a little bit. There's all kinds of stuff. Look how many cleans. All kinds of cleans, Ebows. And here is part of where it continues to be cool. I was going to say here's where it gets cool, but it already was cool. Cellos. And we've got MIDI for all these cellos and synths, choir, pads, and normally we don't get MIDI for this kind of stuff. Normally we just get printed tracks, but you're getting both. A shaker, you know, and we all know that no song is complete without a shaker. So of course, it says a shaker, and looks like screaming tracks, doubles. Everything's doubled, so it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4 main scream tracks with 4 doubles, as well as some clean vocals here. So, what does this song not have? You've got drums, you've got drum MIDI, you've got bass, you've got rhythm guitars, you've got DIs, lead guitars, DIs, clean guitars, DIs, orchestral instruments, synths, the MIDI for all of them, clean vocals, dirty vocals, and of course, a shaker. This is quite a complete session, and the song is like almost 5 minutes and a half long. So, that said, I'm just going to play it real quick. Faders up. Let's see what we got. I am going to turn up the kick trigger just a little bit because this is metal and yeah. And while I'm at it, I'm going to turn off the drums group so I can just turn that up a little. And I'm going to just turn down the bass just a hair because I could hear that it was a little too loud. Just a hair. So you can hear there's a lot going on in this. Let's start by taking a look at some of these cleans because that's what opens the song. Oh, it looks like there was an Ebow going the whole time, too. Have I ever told you guys how much I love Ebows? What a cool invention. And those of you who mix a lot of metal or who want variety, these are some really cool guitar tones, and they're not your typical clean tones on metal records, and they're just not typical. They're really, really cool, and there's stuff like this throughout the whole song. And that's one thing that I actually really like about August Burns Red is that they're not afraid to experiment. They're not afraid to go out there, and they do a good job of it. And every album, it seems like they add more to their musical repertoire. So yeah, some tasteful stuff happening there. Let's see what else we got. Let's check out the drums. I'm going to solo them. I just want us to all check out Matt Greiner. That didn't work out the way I'd wanted, so I'm just doing it like this. I'm not sure what the groupings are on this, so bear with me. All right, let's hear some drums. So, all right, these are some sick-ass kick patterns, and they are tight. And one of the things I remember from being in the recording session with him was that lots of times drummers try to play these patterns, but they're just not that tight, so you do need to quantize them. And it just doesn't sound good until you have a sample on it because they just don't have consistency. But he is such a consistent drummer, and he hits so hard that it just sounds good. It sounds good when he's playing. That's what he sounds like when you're in the room with him. The way he should sound. And as you can tell, probably, he's a very hard hitter. These are going to be some fun drums to mix. Yes, let's hear that. What's that all about? All right, you know what? We're going to hear this whole section because it just sounds like badassery is happening. Okay, like I said, he's a great drummer. Wow, you even get a ton of ghost notes in this song. There really isn't anything that is not covered in this song. So fans of badass drumming, that's what this song has got. Let's check out the bass. The bass DI right here. Ooh, I love that Sans amp. I'm actually going to turn the DI down a little so that we can hear them together. That is a nice raw bass tone. Just sounds thick, meaty, and mean. I love it. And, you know, I've said this before, but I feel like a good bass tone is kind of the secret weapon for a good guitar tone. And kind of what you can hear here is I want you to pay attention to how much intent there is in the picking and just how tight that picking is. And that's what you want in bass. That's what's going to make your bass actually perform its function properly, being the middle ground between your kick drum and your guitar. All right, let's check out these guitars. Man, with a little proper EQ, that would be a sick tone. I can already tell. I just really like it just has like a sweetness to it. I love the distorted tone, and I know that just with the right EQ, that sounds amazing. And I mean, the proof is in Carson and Grant's final mix anyways. These guitars do sound amazing. But hey, you know what? If you don't like that tone, you want to make your own, you've got the DIs. But I like this one. That is some tight playing too. Lots of people who send me their mixes and think that they play the guitars tightly, and I tell them your guitars aren't tight enough. You're never going to get a good enough sound. if your guitars are not tight enough, you need them to be dead on with each other. If you're not sure what I mean by that, here is a perfect example. What a cool part. This is an excellent use of the tambourine. Let me point that out. Check it out. Pay attention to where the tambourine comes in. Now, this is the tambourine track. Pay attention to what happens in this lead part when it comes in. Some good stuff here. All right, we already checked out the cleans and some of the leads. Let's listen to some of the other instruments that you have. Cellos. That sounds real. That does. And there's no MIDI for it, and there's MIDI for everything else. So I'm kind of thinking that these are real. And this one down here is called MIDI cello, as opposed to these that are called cello. So I think it's real, but let's listen to the MIDI cello and see if it sounds any different. Yes, sounds completely different. So check it out. Here's the MIDI cello. Real cello. Sound nothing alike, but hey, you get to work on both in this one. What is life without a good choir? Very subtle in there, but it just makes the solo sound cooler. Put a cool reverb on it, and you're set. What is this warm pad? That's cool, because that's one of those elements that if you put it too loud or mix it wrong, you can completely ruin this heavy part, because it's a pretty busy part and there's a lot going on in the drums and the guitars. So just having these droning notes. Here, I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to just turn it up. See what I mean? It can just be really distracting. But this is the kind of part where if you make it subliminal and you mix it just right, it's just going to add sonic complexity to the part, and just make it tasty in a way that wouldn't have been possible without it. So there's some cool arrangement stuff here. You can really go deep with this one. Got a sawtooth pad. Same idea here. You can either ruin the solo or you can take it to a whole new place. Up to you. And another one. Oh, yes. Yes, this is cool. I love that. What does that go over? Is that doubling a guitar, maybe? Let's see. Oh, the lead. Let's see. Let's hear them together. Oh, this is cool. Just put the right effect. Just put the right effect on that lead synth and EQ it a little and maybe add a little bit of decapitator and turn it down just a hair. Blend it right, and this will be a really cool part. God, there's so much in this session. Like I said before, there's just a lot of stuff going on. It's all very cool. Alright, we got some screaming vocals here.
Let go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it should. Go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems. See today for what it is, not what it can get.
Oh, let's see, how many layers is that? 8. Looks like 12 layers of vocals on this. And let's solo them. Oh, that's cool.
Not what it can give. Make your way. You're lost within. That's no way to live.
That's cool. I'm curious. Is there like any cool instrumentation going on during this part? Cellos. Let's hear that.
Make your way.
Ebow.
Make your way. You're lost within. That's no way to live.
Yeah. I'm leaving out the drums and the heavy guitar so that you can just hear the cool musical elements that you have to work with. You know, when you get stuff this cool, it's really on you to ruin it. That said, this is going to be a challenging mix just because there's so much stuff going on, but it all sounds so good and it's so well arranged that sky is really the limit with what you can do with this. And there's plenty of room for interpretation as well. You don't have to mix it to sound exactly like the record. You can take this in any number of directions. That's what's really cool about this. There's enough here for you to do your own thing.
See today for what it is, not what it can give. Make your way. You're lost within. That's no way to live.
got some cleans at the very end. What are these?
The unanswered questions leave the greatest impression.
Nice. Nice harmonies. Let's see. Got the choir going.
The unanswered questions leave the greatest impressions.
Cool. Well, I hope that you guys have enjoyed the unboxing of Coordinates by August Burns Red for November 2017 Nail the Mix with Carson Slovak and Grant McFarlane. When you sign up for Nail the Mix, you're going to get these tracks, and you can make your own mixes with them. They are as raw as it gets, and again, let me just recap. You get the tempo map with it, you get all the MIDI for all the drums, all the guitars have DIs, as you can see, and all the synths have their own MIDI, and we've got clean guitar, lead guitar, Ebow guitar, clean vocals, dirty vocals, bass DI, SansAmp bass, triggers, MIDI, and natural drums for every single drum element, room mics, overheads, and an attic. There's a lot here, and there's a lot you can get into, and the song goes from brutally heavy to sounding like twangy surf, dark beach music. It goes through many, many different feels, and there's just a lot to dig into. So I hope you guys have fun. This is Eyal Levi signing off for Nail the Mix.